Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Motorcycle Rescue and Review. Today I am with Suzuki's ever popular SV650. And this is a standard version. They made a sport version as well with a kind of a quarter fairing and the clip-on bars, and that was the SV650S. But this is a standard model. It comes set up very much like Ducati's Monster series of bikes. It's just a standard style bike. The SV650 has a lovely 90-degree 8-valve V-twin, or L-twin as it's called. And in this generation, this is a 2006, so it's the second generation of SV650. And it has the more squared off frame on it, and it also has the fuel-injected 650cc motor. The SV650 is liquid cooled, but these bikes are just a hoot to ride. They have real-world power. With that L-twin engine configuration, they sound like a Ducati. This one has Yoshimura exhaust. It also has an aftermarket seat, the tank bra. It also has, it's been lowered in the back, so it rides a little bit lower for the current owner. And I just want to say thank you, John, for letting me review this bike. It's really a privilege. It's such a cool little machine. The Suzuki SV650 just has a tremendously good reputation as a very reliable daily driver, as a bike that you can do really any type of riding on, and one that you can even do track days on. It's a very popular bike to take to the track and allows kind of entry-level riders and newer riders to experience what it's like to do a track day. Going along with that, it's got the 4-piston calipers up front on big dual disc brakes. It also has a big disc brake out back. The way that the bike is set up, it's just set up to be very user-friendly. It's not a peaky motor. The torque curve is very, very flat. What you're going to notice on this is, compared to, let's say, a 4-cylinder bike in the same size range, the 4 cylinders can be a little bit like a rubber band when you get on the throttle, and they don't have as much low end, but then they really kind of pick up towards the top of the rev range. This bike is not like that. It has a very flat torque curve, so even at lower RPM, when you get on the gas, it has instant acceleration. It may not have the ultimate acceleration of a super sport or a highly strung 4-cylinder bike, but where most people drive it most of the time, this bike is actually stronger and a little bit quicker. It has a slick shifting 6-speed transmission, and goes through the gears very nicely. It's not a bike that's prone to missing gears or having transmission issues. Instrumentation on this bike is dominated by a large tachometer front and center where you want to see it. And it has an LCD display that shows your speed and temperature and time and some other information on the small display. But really, I love the fact that it's got a big analog tach up front. That's just super cool. But what is this like out on the road? What is it like to ride and drive? I'm going to grab my gear. I'll bring the camera along. Let's find out together. Let's ride. I'm currently on Suzuki's 2006 SV650. And wow, yeah, I just got off a 1966 Honda 305 Super Hawk. And this bike just feels monstrously powerful and very, very modern in comparison. Suzuki did such a good job with the SV650. It was pretty much instantly popular. And just because it's such a nice, friendly bike to ride, it's not a pressuring bike, but it has plenty of performance on tap. And this one has that great sounding Yoshimura exhaust. And you'd be forgiven if you wanted to pretend you were riding a Ducati. The nice thing about the SV650 is it is friendly enough for beginners to ride and entertaining enough for jaded motorcycle enthusiasts.
And so it just is a very well-balanced package. It's not a bike that tries to dominate you. This particular bike has been lowered, and so I'm just kind of getting used to the handling of it right now. We'll kind of explore that in a little bit here on a little bit more windy road. That's just a gorgeous fall day to be out riding. The transmission on the SV650 is very slick shifting, very precise, very nice unit. We'll hit some twisties here. Turn in is very neutral. And there's that flat torque curve and that awesome sound. Oh, so nice. And the roads are a little bit damp today. I'm not going to really wick it up, but we'll do a little bit of spirited riding here. Yeah, and there's a lot of people don't understand that torque and power where you're actually riding the bike on a regular basis help make a bike much quicker on the road. It may not make for ultimate lap times, but it makes for a bike that is just easy to go fast on, and this bike is just that. It's easy to go fast on. Very low effort. It's got great brakes. If you do get into a corner too hot, you've got the brakes to back you up. It's got manageable weight, and it's got such character for that engine. Just really nice. And then there's that pull, that instant torque, that flat torque curve. The seating position on this bike is, I would say, sport standard. It's got fairly narrow set bars. There's a little bit of a lean to them. And for me, being tall, the foot peg to seat relationship is a little bit on the tight side. Yeah, that sound and that torque just makes me smile. The vibration from this bike is almost non-existent. I'm getting a little bit of vibration through the handlebars, but it's certainly not annoying. It's a very smooth power plant. I would probably personally prefer the stock suspension setup on the bike. This feels a little bit different being lowered. I don't have quite the confidence I have on a fully stock one, but it's certainly not terrible. It's not bad. It's fall here in central Pennsylvania. Just a gorgeous time to ride. It's so nice to be out on a bike that I can enjoy this on. Beautiful weather. I don't know if you can see some of the foliage. Leaves are turning colors. Just gorgeous. And it just makes this bike a wonderfully nice place to be. And a bike that beginners and jaded enthusiasts can just enjoy. Tremendously good job, Suzuki. Very, very nice.
All right, what a fun ride. That was super nice. Just to be able to enjoy the back roads that we were on, just the scenery. That's a beautiful area of Pennsylvania that I'm riding in today, and it's fall, so there's just beautiful leaves. This SV650 is just such a willing partner. It's a very comfortable machine to drive, and it's easy. It just, everything it does so easily. It just has that friendly, very entertaining power band. Anytime you want instant acceleration, as long as the bike's above about 4,000 RPM, it just comes on strong. And plenty of passing power. This bike is not a vibey bike at all. It's very, very smooth with that 90-degree L-twin. Just a great power plant. It's really the star of the show. Ergonomics aren't bad. The seat peg position is a little bit, up for me. This bike has been modified. It's lowered in the front and in the back, and so the handling, I wouldn't say, is representative of like the majority of SV650s. I have ridden the one with the stock suspension setup, and I prefer that a little bit more. But I'm also a taller rider. When you ride one of these bikes, you understand just that broad range appeal of the SV650, and it's really one of the very few bikes that I can think of that there are older riders who really kind of seek these out and they want one of these, and then there are young riders who also really want one of these bikes. They're just superb little machines. Thank you, John, for letting me ride this bike. It's a real treat. It's so easy to see why Suzuki's SV650 is so popular. It's such a good bike. Suzuki did such a good job. All right, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative. And until next time, enjoy the ride.